and welcome to yet another amazing episode. I'm super, super excited today. You know why? Let me just tell you why. Don't even guess. Because it is my birthday tomorrow. And I had not really planned to do this video, but then I thought, you know what? After sitting down and reflecting about my life, and first of all, let me tell you, I'm turning 34. Yes, I'm turning 34. I have been around the block for the past 33 years, and it's been an amazing journey. And I really just want to share it with you guys. And today's session is going to be raw and unfiltered. In fact, we're just going to call it Jacinta and raw, or Jacinta unfiltered, because this is my truth. This is my story. This is what has come up as I was reflecting. And let me tell you, I even have tissue paper here because it's been a journey. It's really been a journey. Somebody may be watching me and you're thinking, you're in your 50s and you're thinking, no, this girl, she's not even seen anything. To be honest, I know it's a number to somebody else, but to me, it's been a huge, huge milestone. And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you a bit about my story, my beliefs, some things that you have really never known about me. If you do not know about me, this is your time for you to meet who Jacinta really is behind being a coach, aside from being a mom, aside from being a wife, a sister, a toxic relationship, advisor or expert or enthusiast, and even a toxic relationship survivor. Who is Jacinta? This is what we'll be finding out, my experiences. So stay tuned. And please, if this is your first time here, please subscribe, like this video, share it with another woman who maybe is at this point in their lives, or maybe is at a point where I used to be in the different phases of my life, like I'll be talking to you about. And just enjoy. Sit back, grab a cup of hot tea, wine for you maybe. I have some water with me. What do you like to take? Just sip it, and I'm going to guarantee that it's gonna be an interesting journey. For me, looking back, it's very interesting, and I would really love to share this with you. So, karibu, welcome. So, who is Jacinta unfiltered? Beyond the glamour, beyond the fashion that I love so much. Who is Jacinta and what's her journey been like? Like I have said, it has been a reflection, and I usually do this a lot. Actually, wait, it's close to my birthday. And I was looking back, I remembered a major, major changing point in my life that happened right before my 31st birthday. Like I've told you, I reflect a lot before my birthdays. And the first time that I really did a deep reflection was when I was 29. And I remember that was the first time when I figured out that I'm not really in a relationship that was serving me. And the next time will be when I'm 31. And that is when I was almost turning 31. I remember it was a 2nd or 3rd of May. The year was 2021 when it finally hit me that I'm done with that relationship that I had been in for the past. I remember I got into it when I was around 19, 18. It was my past, and I ended up having 3 kids by him. But it was a very toxic relationship, like very abusive. But I made the decision and I ended. And I remember very well that I said to myself, Jacinta, and I went told the person that was in the relationship with, if I ever get myself back into this relationship, please take me to a mental institution, because I know that I have totally lost my mind. Yeah. And I made that choice just a few days before my birthday. Remember, I told you my birthday is tomorrow, which is the 7th of May. And it was just 5 days before. So I usually when you reflect on. And now this is 2025. What is it? 4 years down the line? Actually, no, 3 years, because it was 2022. It was 2022, I remember. And just looking back at how my life has come in those 3 years for me pulling myself out of that relationship, um, being able to move on, date again, and finally get married again. It really has been a lot going on. You can only imagine, right? It's 3 years. It's so much has happened. I've been married now for like an year, and I've known this man 2 years. So, yeah, things did fall into place really fast. But I have to say that despite me thinking or wanting to claim that I have been able to do all this, and this is another part of the reflection that I've been able to do myself, it has not always been me. It has not always been me. And even I tell all the women that I meet or come into my hand during coaching and all that, I tell them, you really have to be committed to do your, but the most important job, that one goes up. And I I cannot really delve so much into religion because I consider myself to have a very personal relationship with my God. Like I said, this is my truth. It doesn't have to be anybody's truth. This is my truth. Over the years, I have really come to embrace a close relationship with my God. And I especially felt it, or it was even stronger during that time, during my quiet time, or during that time when I was single, when I was all alone, when I had left the relationship. I was there with 3 kids. My youngest was barely a man. She had not even sat up. She was not even eating yet. She was just fully dependent on me. And I had other 2 kids. And I was thinking, I've just turned 31. I'm not going to be a single mom. I lost my mom at a very young age. So I really felt like I did not have any support. I had lost a lot of friends. So I felt very alone. And during that time, honestly, that's when I really turned to God. Most of the time, I will be talking to Him even before I left the relationship because I had left over and over again. And I have written out this story in my book, I'm Bound. If you'd like, hope you'll read, please DM me on any of my socials or just comment and I'll send you the link. I have it on Amazon. I have it in Nuri in Kenya, so you do not have a reason to say or not to be able to access it, right? So anyway, during this time, remember, I got into the relationship when I was 19. I hardly knew a thing about what it means to be alone. And let me tell you, this was my isolated time for the 1 year after I left that relationship between my 31 to maybe 32. And yeah, it was only in some months. I was alone for the first time in my life. And at first it was scary. And I'm hoping that even as I speak to any woman out there who is single and can relate to this, you're able to understand and see yourself in my shoes. It was really scary and I was alone. I had never ever been alone in my life. At 19 meant that I came from my dad's house to this man's house. So never have I lived alone. Never have I been fully responsible of anything in my entire life. And here I am. Here is me, a full-grown woman now. I don't have excuses to say, oh, let me run back to my dad because I have 3 kids who are looking up to me. And I remember they kept me very grounded. And at some point, my kids would tell me, Mom, never leave us. Never leave us. They had the fear. And I knew I had to be strong, not just for myself, for them too. Right. So at this point came and I'm here with my kids and I'm thinking of I can hear all the noise of people calling me a single mom. And this is the time that I'm starting doing the work of helping women to leave toxic relationships. And I'm thinking, okay, fine. And I got a lot of fights from especially trigger men. I say trigger men because I know I had very supportive men as well who would tell me you're doing a good job, but there were men who did not like what I was saying of telling women, hey, if that relationship is not working for you, it's not worth being killed in the name of love, just walk out, right? And in doing this, at some point I used to ask myself, it's like I'm blaming this single badge of being single, but I knew it in my heart of heart, but I did not want to be single forever. And I still believed in healthy relationships. I still believed in marriages. Even though the relationship that I was in never worked, it did not mean that I could not be happy in a relationship again. And so there I got to this moment where it's just me, and who else is there for me? God. And that's when I learned that, you know what? Like, and especially right now, and I actually say, even if you go to Paris, but they have never been there. But any building, let's just talk about any iconic building in the city that you're in. Let's even give an example of Kenya. KFC, because for most of us, about KFC is the tallest building in Kenya, or is it in Nairobi? I think so. When you're right below it, you really cannot see its beauty. You cannot be able to admire it. Sometimes it takes for you to move back. Like when you're at a distance back, that's when you're able to look at this building and be like, oh, this is a very nice building. It's very tall and all that, but you cannot really see it when you're standing under it. And I felt like that was the very same thing for me. Right now is when I'm able to really see my journey and be able to really admire where I've come from. Because that time there were nights when I cried myself to sleep. There were nights when I cried to God and I asked Him, how did I end up in this situation? How did you put this man in my life, knowing very well he would not really be a committed father, or even just making my life miserable when I'm supposed to be here and take care of this kid? But during all this time and all these questions, there was something that I would come to listen to. It was a song. I started really enjoying driving and listening to music, and one particular song, I don't know what the name is, but it used to say, even when I don't see it, you're working. You never stop. And I don't know that song. Just look it up. I think, yeah, but it says, even when I don't see it, you're still working. And right now, I look back and I think to myself, I should have rested then or stopped being anxious, because the whole time things were falling into place. I just could not see it. So even if you'll be saying to me, and believe me, I'm not preaching, I'm not a pastor, my husband is but I used to preach back in high school. Long story, but I put it in my book, so you need to read my book. My journey with God has not been a new one. It's not new, but it became closer during this time. And I came to understand that sometimes isolation is really your best friend. Isolation is the one thing that you need to quieten all these voices. Remember, I was alone. I really did not have much support from my family. Yes, they were there, but they really could not understand what I'm going through. And they could really not, there's a journey that only you can be able to walk for yourself. Not even friends, not family, not your children, no one but you. And this was what was there. And it's made the last 33 years of my life look like everything was just falling into place, even when I could see it or when I could not see it. During my reflection, it took me back to when I was 19, and I said I was pregnant for the very first time in my life. And I was Catholic by then. I used to be in the youth. I used to be a Sunday school teacher. I thought I was living right. But I was still dating this guy who was my first guy. My first boyfriend, and that was all I knew. But then I ended up pregnant. And during this time that I'm getting pregnant, I have gotten a passport. I have done TOEFL just for English. That was the first time that I wanted to come to the US study. Everything had fallen into place. The school had accepted. We were now preparing for the visa. And then I find out that I'm pregnant. This time again, it was in May, because I actually got into that relationship, we stayed marriage in May. May when I was 19. I don't know whether that is, I think in 2011. Yes. So just see my life. And during that time, I cried. I went to church. I cried. I will go to the adoration chapel and cry. I cried, I prayed for a miracle, and nothing was changing. And I remember, and this is even where the book starts, I finally decided, you know what, nothing is changing. I'm doing the test. It's positive, it's positive. I'm just going to move in with this man because by then he was like, okay, you're pregnant, fine. Let's start our life together. And I moved in with him, and I moved in with a big paper bag. By then in Kenya, paper bags were banned. The big yellow paper bags, if you know them, please comment. Let me know that you know them. The big yellow paper bag that had a calendar at the back. That is what I put on my clothes, and one of my stepmom handbags carried with me. And that's how I moved into that house, and I thought to myself, Jacinta, is this how you get married? I remember asking myself that question that night because I went to the rooftop. It was this 2-story house. We were living in a single room. And I started asking myself questions. Is this how your life ends? Because honestly, I felt like my life ended that day. I felt like this is it. All my dreams, all my aspirations, they were gone. They were gone. I didn't see how to pull myself out of that. You're living in a single house with a guy who is employed, and sometimes he's getting a salary, sometimes he's not. I will be the one sometimes spending my own pocket money to him. So here I am. I've just left high school, no college degree, nothing. I won't do. I see myself rising up from that hole. I honestly did not see a way out of it. And I settled, and I told myself at some point, you know what, God, if this is what you have in store for me, I'm going to accept it. And I settled, and I began my new life as a married woman. Along the way, so many things happened. There was infidelity, there was a lot of physical abuse, and I started thinking to myself, no, I think there is more to life than this. I think there is more to life than just reaching up, doing what you're meant to do, or maybe a job. That is it. No. And I was not happy. And I'm so glad that the uncomfortability, and I was actually having this conversation with one of my best friends, and we were talking about how uncomfortability is what brings changes, it's what brings growth. So I got to that point where I was like, no, I have to really endure being uncomfortable for me to move on. And I did a lot of things, like the first trip. All these things are in the book. I went to Kampala for the very first time. It was like an act of defiance. Even getting my nose break, I got it when I was 25. I had told myself, every single year I'll be getting something new. I'll be trying something new. And it was actually what sparked my revolution or my evolution or my change, my big change. It was I had to choose between a tattoo or a piercing. I thought to myself, you know what, I have almost liked a piercing. Let me just get it. Even if he's gonna agree to it, if he won't, I'm doing this for me. That was the first time in my entire life I did something. And then I would later go to Uganda. Imagine just going to a new country, just booking a bus, going to this new city. You don't know anyone, anything. I do not even know their money. I have Kenyan shillings. How do I change? I'm like, no, sometimes I look back and I just see how faithful God has been in my life. I went to this new city all alone, knowing no one. I changed money. They would have given me fake money, or maybe somebody would have taken advantage of me, but that was not it. I met amazing people. They showed me the town. I stayed there for a couple of days. This was all the way of me finding myself, just trying to navigate through these waters that I had been thrown in. And I was trying to fight against the current, because the current, if I had decided to just go with the current, which was easier, then I would still be in that relationship, very unhappy, but looking like I had everything, because honestly, God again had been faithful. He blessed us and we had plenty. But one thing I did not have that is priceless was faith. It was the feeling of I'm not where I'm supposed to be. So anyway, my journey continues and I fight. I really had to fight. I had to fight for everything from driving to having a new clique of friends to just getting a job that fitted me. I did so many things. I was even at some points going from shop to shop to just find orders, to starting a boutique, which did not work, to starting a construction business. I did so many things along the way. But finally, I will be pointed to the direction that I felt. And honestly, it's still a journey. I can't really, because I hope to still be here in the next 35 years and I hope I'll still have you too. I just want to see how this journey is going to be. But for the past 33 years, and what really stood out for me was how much you just have to believe in yourself, for one, and don't wait for anyone to come save you because no one is coming to save you. It will be your own effort and God. You just have to play your parts. And I tell this to every woman who comes under my hope, that it's you doing the work and leaving the rest to God. I remember telling God that time when I left the relationship and wondering, I have a son, I have these two daughters, and I don't want them to turn out in a negative way. And I did not know how to raise a son because I'm not a man. And I was looking around and I really could not see any healthy men near me. And I didn't want him to turn out where somebody thought I was coming to me crying, or that he turned out to just be a nobody. So I told God, you're either going to bring a man who's going to be him, a good father to these children, a good role model to help me read it, or you are going to be the father to these kids. They will never lack anything, and they will never turn out wrong. So to every single mom out there, because I know the fear, I know the pain, I know the uncertainty, what I really say is, commit it all to him. Have a conversation with him. Like, you do not even have to be religious. I have honestly never been that religious, but I knew that the relationship that I had with my God was very special. And yes, there have been times when I've given him a backseat, but honestly, even right now, that is what I hope to get into coming this new year of my life, is to just get to know him more and to be closer to him, because I came to learn that he's always there. Even when I push him away, he's always there. Even when I escape from him, going to do my own things, he's always there. And in the long run, I will run back to him, cry, and his hands are always for him. So anyway, I did not intend to have a pretty much for this, but that has been my greatest takeaway from my 33-year-old path. And I'm not ashamed to say here to everyone who followed me that God has been a huge part of my life in everything, in everything. Just imagine how I was able to find my husband. He's on the other side of the world. I'm on a different side of the world. It cannot be coincidence. I do not believe in coincidence. And our path met and we had so many things in common. And the whole journey of us dating to finally getting married only took us 1 year. It felt like everything was divinely connected because it moved on so swiftly, so easily. Everything was so easy. I usually say that the long distance relationship with my husband has been the easiest. It felt so natural, so easy. Like I did not feel like I was working or trying to make it work. It was so effortless, like it was always meant to be. So I hope that this message hit somebody. Today was not about me teaching you anything, but I know inside there are a bunch of lessons. It was just a conversation. And as I'm having this conversation with you, it's also a diary to me. Some of these things are actually a diary to me because I know I will look back. I will look back 5, 10 years down and see where I was in my 34th year, and I will see the transformation like I always see it in the pictures, in the memory, just another one of those memories. And I just wanted to share this with you. So a huge thank you to each and every one of you who has always subscribed, supported me one way or the other, for the GMs, for the comments. I really appreciate them. Let's keep learning, keep growing, and keep being in love with ourselves. Until the next time when I do another amazing video, thank you so much. And don't forget, subscribe if you haven't, like this video, give it a few thumbs up, and actually share it with somebody who you feel might benefit from this information. Bye bye, guys.